Elemental's colossal failure. How not to advertise a movie. By Zeepster. The only ad I saw of this was like some meme stuff, I swear. Like the only ad I saw of this was like some meme stuff. I didn't even know it released. And now people saying it's a failure. I didn't even know it released. Like that's how, but I'm older, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really the target audience, but yeah, I don't know.
Guys, it's over. It's time to hand it all
over.
up. Elemental
It's
is a pretty
over.
big bomb
$3
for
in a
Disney.
Big
Listen,
Mac.
I just got done watching the movie, and I thought it
But
was
what's
like
a-
okay. But let me just say something. They
What's a
did not.
bomb for Disney? What's a bomb for Disney? Like, what does that really mean? Are they not profiting? I mean, are they not at least leveling it out? Like they, given time, it should level out at least a little bit.
Market this movie well at all. There are a lot of things that went wrong here. For the Mouse and Friends, over hundreds of
only
millions of
40
dollars have
million?
been lost. Yeah, just
Over
between you and me,
hundreds
that
of
seems like a big ouch.
Okay.
I'm Zeep. I'm pretty epic. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. And of course, like the video.
The Mr.
And
Beast.
let's just get straight into it.
For fucking bridge.
To be
Terrible
fair,
marketing.
Elemental isn't the only movie bombing right now at the box office. It's joined by the likes of The Flash. But what makes Elemental's
even watch The
bombing
Flash. I heard
more
it's
interesting is
mid.
that it's the worst performing Pixar movie by far. This comes at a deeper problem with Pixar. No original
Spider-Man
Pixar
out here, you know
animated
what I'm saying?
film.
Spider-Man, movie of the decade. Facts. If you haven't seen it, go see it. That's movie of the decade.
Has done super
Actually, I
well
like Bud
within
Light,
the
too.
past 5 years.
I
mean,
love
yeah,
Bud Light,
sequels
especially since like I like the concept of him keep on trying to go home, his idea of home, and every time he comes back, everybody just gets older and older and older and stuff like that. And because he's chasing the idea of we gotta go back home, we gotta go back home, we gotta go back home. While those people still there, they were making where they at was home. It was home. It was home. And he just lost time with the people around him because he was singing his idea of home. Like, I don't know. That was just sick to me. That concept was just sick to me. I like that movie. I like that movie. That movie was good. To
Well,
me.
Toy Story 4 made $1 billion. It's no wonder we're getting a Toy Story 5, despite the story being
Facts.
quote-unquote already over since the
Yeah, I
last
thought
film.
it
It was supposed to be
over.
over with Toy Story 3 in 2010.
But Toy Story
then
4
you
was
have
good.
other films
Toy
like
Story 4 was
Lightyear
good.
didn't do super well, even
See, they leveled
struggled
it out.
to make back its budget.
leveled it out.
So when it comes to Elemental,
But they probably
what's
spent
going on?
100
Don't
million
get me
on
wrong.
ads, but-
They marketed this movie to death. I saw it all over buses, benches.
See, I
whenever I
didn't.
closed my
I
eyes,
didn't.
dude, I even became a huge advertiser
Like,
for this movie. I wouldn't shut
I
up
only saw
about it to my
memes.
friends. I even bought the Wade plush, and I saw it in 4D. Every time Wade appeared on the screen, it felt like I was actually getting waterboarded. That may be a little hyperbole,
not a
but you get
pleasing
what I mean.
experience,
Of
like
course,
he's
I
saying
did this
it.
all out of irony, because I thought this movie was going to be one of the most generic films of all time. And after watching the movie, I feel as if it's a little more
Wade.
nuanced than that.
Wade.
Sure, of course, there's the blatant themes of
Passing with the
racism
things
all
you
throughout the
say.
film, but it's also kind of a touching
No,
love story.
passive with the things you say. Come on, man. Passive Food is fire. Jake was in his bag when he made that.
Story that I actually genuinely enjoyed. The problem comes at them marketing the movie as if it was coming out in the year 2010. Okay, just by
That's
watching
fire.
the official trailer, you've already seen
2010?
most of
It
this
looked like
before.
Zootopia.
Here's this utopian city that's a diversified melting pot
Like
covered
Zootopia.
deep within
It
it,
looked like
lies
Zootopia.
prejudice and issues against other people of different breeds.
Yep,
Listen, I
like
think you can
Zootopia.
pull off this plot pretty well. I mean, Zootopia did a fantastic job at doing it by
Exactly,
actually
look at
making
that.
it really interesting. A movie about
Just copy
animals
that
basically
pretty much,
doing
but with
drugs
elements.
and political corruption. Zootopia is special. With that in mind, what makes Elemental so special compared to things we've seen before? It's kind of like a parody in
But
itself.
Zootopia was hard.
Like, dude,
Zootopia was
Disney has
hard.
done this multiple times. Oh, these guys aren't meant to be because they aren't of this stature. Oh, by the end of the movie, everyone accepts
doing that since
they
the
are meant to
90s,
be,
since the
including
70s,
themselves.
80s.
And they live to see happily ever after. Just by
Probably.
the trailer, you can already guess how the plot's gonna go. Zootopia was different. There were actual real good twists and turns that made me love the movie. Elemental kind of plays it safe. There's actually a moment in the movie where I'm just like, wait, are they actually doing this? That's kind of ballsy, but I kind of respect them doing this. And then in the end, they kind of reverse the decision they originally made. I don't know. You know, you look at the comments for the
The
Elemental
movie looks
trailer.
absolutely
This movie
stunning, and I have little doubt it will be visually be an incredible movie, but I feel like I've seen this plot. Yeah.
looks absolutely
Yeah.
stunning, and I have little doubt it will visually be an incredible movie, but I feel like I've seen this plot
Nah.
already 10,000 times. It is the forbidden relationship, an opposites attract story you've seen
Yeah.
over and over again. And that's the real problem of the marketing here. Pixar did not make a unique film. Don't get me wrong, people
What was
knew
their
this
last
movie was
unique
coming
film?
out, and that's what makes it an even more colossal failure. There was nothing from the trailers, from the marketing, that made it stand out at all. And this is where we get to a grander problem that goes beyond Elemental and Pixar becoming more
This is a
creatively
Pixar problem.
bankrupt.
The search for Pixar's soul is in the writers, is in the workers. But the Pixar company, they want this worked with this. Let's just do it again and 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 again. I feel like last Pixar good film was Soul. I like Soul, from what I remember. I haven't watched it in years, but I liked it when I saw it.
The search for Pixar's soul. Listen, I wouldn't actually care about Elemental bombing hard if it wasn't for the fact that right before I went to go see the movie, I read this. It was from the director of Elemental, Peter Sohn, who worked at Pixar for 23 years, and truly felt as if he never had a story be so personal to him until this one. A child of immigrants who left from Korea to New York in the late 60s, the movie is very much about the sacrifices immigrants have made for their children. For Peter Sohn, Elemental is a love letter to his parents, thanking them for building such a supportive foundation and also dealing with the loss of both their parents. That in itself is a touching way to view Elemental.
But I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna disrespect the letter, but still a generic story. I ain't gonna lie. Still, the way it was made. Come on, man. You know it's you. You know, you felt the vibes. Come on, man. Come on, yo.
And yes, while going through the film, that really is what much of it is about. The generational divides between parents and their kids, especially if their parents are immigrants. Problem is, that's not how the movie was exactly marketed. It was marketed as a typical love story that one can guess how it's going to end just by watching the trailer. Look at Pixar's lineup. A movie about talking toys, a rat that can cook, superheroes with incredible powers, a house attached to
close
balloons.
Place in my heart.
These are interesting and novel ideas. What happened here was an idea we've seen a million times before. I would even argue that the short before the movie, Carl's Date, was way more nuanced. A short about Carl, the main character from Up, learning to move on after his wife passed away in the first film. It was genuinely very touching, especially because the real-life actor who played Carl passed away shortly after he recorded his lines for this short.
I did not know
Pixar
that.
Still capable of creating original stories straight from the
that
heart.
was
Coco and Turning Red were, I think, fantastic
amazing.
films.
That was amazing.
As a person who's a first-generation Mexican-American, Turning Red and Coco were incredibly relatable. In elements, no pun intended right here, Pixar's latest flick does echo those themes. I just don't think it does it as well as those movies. There is a problem here when it comes to Elemental's flop, and it is a worry I've had for a while. We may not be getting original stories from Pixar as often as we would like in the future. Pete Docter, the chief creative official of Pixar, stated this, that after Elemental, Pixar sequels such as Toy Story 5 and Inside Out 2, they were all fair game. Okay, alright, this news kind of sucks, but okay. I talked about it earlier, but I have a huge...
And there really shouldn't be a Toy Story 5, I can't lie. Toy Story 4 was amazing. Toy Story 4 was amazing. Toy Story 3 was amazing. As long as it's good. But the more you do it, the more likely you can fail at doing it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do it. I don't know. Make your money, man. Make your money. Make your money, man. Make your money.
They can't let Toy Story go. They just can't. It's the cash cow. Toy Story 1 through 3, I love those movies.
Toy Story 4 is nice.
4, Jesus Christ. I hate that movie so much.
What?
I really just want some of these movies to stay standalone.
Good.
I don't think we need a sequel like WALL-E or even Ratatouille. What else is there to say? It actually is just over, bro. If their next original film, a Leo, also flops, it might be just like done.
I didn't even know that this was happening. How does he know that this stuff is happening? What is a Leo, bro? I don't even know what that is.
Toy Story 6,
I gotta ask
where
my little
Buzz and
brother and
Woody are
sister,
going
but
to
I
say
doubt they
goodbye
know
yet
what
again,
that is.
even though we've seen this like 2 times before. Here's the thing, I give Elemental respect in various regards. Apparently Elemental visually was like the hardest Pixar movie to ever create.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
As it required way more computing power than any film Pixar had ever made, with more than 50 effect artists working on the project. The studio had to build relationships across teams that had barely collaborated in the past, and create new tools for lighters and animators, and put to use brand new simulation techniques. According to various articles, around 3 or 4 years ago when they first started making this movie, they didn't even know if it was possible to create the effects the movie needed. That is something I can respect from the movie. Too bad it wasn't used for a more interesting plot. The film has been compared to The Good Dinosaur, which came out in 2015. The first Pixar movie I ever skipped out on watching because it just didn't look interesting to me. The Good Dinosaur being considered as Pixar's first box office bomb. They would have another big one in 2020 with Lightyear, which led the studio
like
to lose
Lightyear,
$106 million.
I like Lightyear.
As for Soul, Luca, and
I
Turning
watched
Red,
that too.
they
That
all
was
debuted
alright.
on Disney
No,
Plus, which
I
may have
watched it with my little
conditioned
brother and
viewers
sister.
to
It
no
was
longer
alright.
go watch these movies in an actual movie theater. Between you and me, I don't think that's it, guys. I think that's kind of a cope from Disney. Look at Spider-Verse. Look how well that's done.
Amazing. You
Look at
can't
the
compare. You can't compare it to that. That's too high. That's too high. That's comparing Avengers Infinity War to look at the second Doctor Strange movie. Come on, like you can't compare that. It's too high. Like you can't do that. Come on, bro. Come on. That's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I can't lie.
Super Mario
I didn't
Bros.
watch
movie.
the
That's
new
in like
Mario
the top
movie.
20 top grossing films of all time. To be fair, it is Mario, and to be fair, it is Spider-Man. Even then, you could still be original and successful.
I didn't watch the Mario,
Maybe
but I
this is
know
just a
Spider-Man
problem with
was
Disney as a
so
whole.
amazing.
They've gotten a little more lazier. They've decided to remake Little Mermaid in live action.
Yeah.
They're doing a live action remake of Moana,
Yeah.
despite the movie coming out in 2016, only a couple years ago. When it comes to their Marvel films,
action
they've been
movies are
losing
usually-
steam. I mean, besides Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy 3, movies such as Ant-Man have not been able to
Ant-Man
reach
was
expected
mid.
box office numbers.
I mean, it was-
There is a fatigue coming in.
It was
over
aight. They
stuff
made-
we have
I
seen
feel like they
before.
made
And honestly,
Kang look so
it's for
weak
the
in that
best.
movie.
Elemental
Like-
has been getting pretty good reviews. I'm going to say this again. I thought it was an okay movie. Maybe you might like it, but I do like you guys. Thanks for watching and subscribe. Like this.
Yeah, Ant-Man's alright. Ant-Man's alright. And most movies are just okay. Like there's no. I feel like there's no such thing as a bad movie. A bad movie is it's a boring movie. I mean, you could be bored of the concept of the type of movies that come out because they all pretty much very, very similar. You can tell the different ones, how different they are, but they're very similar. Most movies. Ant-Man was mid. Ant-Man was mid. Ant-Man was mid. And that man may not even be Kang anymore because he's dealing with some type of case that you already know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I can't lie. That Bud Lightyear one, yo, I'm gonna die on that. I'm gonna die on that hill. That Bud Lightyear was good. Come on, yo. I just like the concept so much. You make your home. There's no real idea of home. And he was just wasting his time. And maybe that's why it's carrying in my head. But like, movies don't really be having that concept like that, at least to me. Or at least like that obvious, you know?